What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel here in the garage again today. I'm going to be working on the 03 bug eye. I need to connect all of the fuel lines, get those all hooked back up. I need to hook up one more evap line as well underneath the manifold. None of that should be too bad. And then I want to start this thing today. So I don't have any of the cooling system hooked up. I don't have any of the exhaust hooked up. So it's going to be loud as all hell. But I just want to do that first to make sure that it will start and that it will run before I button all that stuff up. Yeah, I'm going to get started by attacking these fuel lines first. Let's get at it. All right, guys. So after a little bit of research, I had to figure out which line is which on here because I haven't used the stock fuel line setup in a while. But here, I'll just kind of show you. If you look back in here, so the black one on the bottom, that's feed, and that's already coming out to the fuel filter, and then it feeds out to the top one. The middle one is return, goes back and goes through this little damper, this fuel damper, and goes back to the gray one. That's return. And then the blue one is the evap, which is the bottom one here. So it's feed, return, and evap. And then on here, it's feed, evap, return. We do have another damper on here on this stock rail. I thought that there should be one on this side, but I never took one off, so I'm just assuming that one doesn't go there. You only have the one on the return up top. So we should be good as far as fuel pressure. So I'm gonna get started just kind of putting these lines in place. I do have extra like braided line here that I used on the other setup that I think I'll probably use to make these lines. So it should end up looking pretty nice in here. All right, guys, so one thing that's kind of unfortunate is I don't have another one of these fittings. I thought I did, but I must have just misplaced it somewhere. And as you can see, this thing's like all just flat right here and then has a stopper. Whereas like this style has like a bigger piece on the front that the hose slides over. And then when you clamp, you can clamp it down so that it can't come around this little ridge. And I don't know if a regular clamp will work on one of these right here without that. But I'm not really sure what else to do because I just don't have another one of those like quick connect fittings. I may just try it, see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't just piss fuel everywhere. All right, so luckily I still have this evap line, so that will just go like that. Fits right on there nicely. Just need to find another clamp for this end. We'll slide it in place. All right, as you can see, the evap line is installed, routed through there, and it's clamped down. So yeah, it looks pretty good. All this is now situated. The only thing that I'm a little unsure of is obviously this clamp. Will it squirt through there? I'm not sure. We will find out. So that is the only thing that's a little bit sus about this setup. All right, so I got the evap system all put back into place right there, so we can move on to the next phase. All right guys, so I have everything buttoned up now, as much as I need to just test the fuel system. Now that I have the battery hooked up, I'm going to turn the key over to the on position and just see once it primes if I notice anything leaking. All right, we have power. See if we notice anything up here. I don't smell fuel. I don't see anything coming out of there. I don't see anything coming out of these connections. Anything out of these ones. I don't see. I don't know that the fuel rails would have fuel in them yet, but maybe. I don't see anything or smell anything. Nothing leaking out of the injectors. Same with this side. All right. So that's a positive. I am going to put some oil in this thing now. And then I guess, yeah, we'll just attempt a first startup, see what happens. Good old O'Reilly. All right guys, so I put about 4 quarts of oil in. Or 4.5, something like that. So we should be good there. I'm gonna leave the crankshaft position sensor, which is right here, unplugged. I'm gonna turn it over a few times to build oil pressure. All right, moment of truth, here we go. And nervous. One more time. Good measure. Let's just clip this thing back in. Here we go. Now I'm extra nervous. It's gonna be so loud. Does smell like fuel now though, but it's just kind of more like exhaust though. I don't think anything was actually leaking. I don't see any oil leaking under here, so that's good. All right, throttle cable's hooked up. I might try to like give it some gas and see if that makes a difference. Well, it'll start. That sounded fucking crazy. That's good. That's enough. That's all I wanted. It'll start. We know it'll start. So it sounds like shit, but that's what happens when you don't have an exhaust on. Let me just get some things buttoned up on here, and then we'll see if we can get it to kind of idle at least a little bit better. What's up, guys? It is the next day and I am back working on buttoning up this engine bay. I still need to get a few miscellaneous items installed on this engine. Just some things left to do are I need to connect the hose right here coming off the turbo inlet that goes to the bypass valve, to hook up the rest of the stuff on the power steering pump. We need to get obviously the belt installed. We'll get the intercooler mounted up. I still need to mount up or reinstall the PCV hose off the breather port there on the block. And so yeah, just like a lot of little things. We'll also need to put on the intake so we can plug the MAF sensor back in. We should be good to like try to start it up again and see if it runs any better. It may not, because I don't have the proper tune on this car right now. I don't even have like the right base map. So it thinks that it has much larger injectors than it does. It's gonna run funny. I'll leave the radiator off for now. I don't want to put any coolant in it yet until I am confident that it is going to be running solid. And I'm going to start by working on the PCV and that hose to the bypass valve.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Starting to look more like an engine. All right, guys, so we have the intercooler installed for the most part, just waiting on the bypass valve gasket. We have all the PCV lines connected, routing from here, over here, off the breather port, across the hard pipe, down to the other breather port. So now let's just move on to reconnecting the power steering pump. All right, so moving right along here with the engine on the Bug-Eye. It's looking pretty good. I did clean it up a little bit. I actually did mount up the downpipe, as you can see down there, because I do want to try to start this thing after I put that battery back in. And it'll be a little bit quieter with the downpipe on. So yeah, let's get this battery installed, and then let's keep our fingers crossed and turn the key. Let's hop in the seatless car. And let's see what happens. Well, she still doesn't want to stay on. I have a feeling it is probably the injectors. Current map on there is scaled for 1050 cc injectors, and these are only like 565 or something. It's the blue ones that come in the 06, 07 WRX. It wants to, but she's struggling. So it's all good. I am just going to wait until I can get a base map loaded before trying again. It's all good. But anyway, thanks for joining me for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more of these builds. I have another car coming up here shortly that I'm going to reveal to everybody. That's the next project. It's gonna be super rad. I think you guys will be stoked. But yeah, until next time, everybody, thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time.